Honda and Acura sales are having a rough start to 2021. Today we'll discuss the suffering sales numbers, not only of Honda and Acura, but of all the Japanese and Korean automakers. Grab your snacks and drinks, we're in for the long haul today. Over at automotive news, Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Subaru post lower volume. It's a bit messy for February. You know, part of that, before we get into all the numbers, a part of that is we had 2 less selling days in the month of February for 2021 compared to 2020. And yeah, chip shortages have been running rampant through the industries. And yeah, you guys know, unless you've been living on a rock, Texas and parts of the South had some crazy freezing, and that really put a damper on things. So now that hell is done being froze over, things should be looking better after February, but February was rough, and we're gonna dive into it, especially for Honda and Acura. Looking at the chart here over at Automotive News, Acura, first 2 months down 6.7%. February, they were down about 6%. Honda down 12% for February, and which is worse than what they had in January. So we're gonna head over to the Honda page and see what is going on, especially with their car sales. It is, well, a tough bullet to bite for them. Well, let's check this out. Total car sales in February compared to last February were down 32.7%. The good news is that their truck sales, which is also like their SUVs. Anything that's an SUV is a truck for them. It's not just like the Ridgeline. Truck sales were up 5%. But Honda total car sales down 33% compared to last February, and Acura total car sales down 22% compared to last February. Yikes. So let's break down the individual models that are just stinking it up, which is pretty much all of them in the car side of things. The Accord just got a refresh. That's not seeing a whole lot of change here, down 20% compared to last February. Civic, holy cow, down almost 40% compared to last February. That next generation redesigned Civic can't come soon enough, but still, sedans, as you'll see today, is a struggling category. It has been for several years now, and it just continues to just fall off a cliff. Clarity, well, yeah, they don't really sell any of those anyways. CRZ has been discontinued forever. Fit has been discontinued as well, sadly, and that's, yeah, those sales are not going to be existing next year. And then the Insight is, yeah, those sales don't really matter that much anyways. As you can see, they don't sell a whole lot to begin with. So, you know, the car side of things for Honda is just really, really bad. Let's look at Acura, and it's not any better, sadly. Well, the RLX has been canceled, so sales there are just going to dissipate. ILX, that car needs a redesign as of like 3 years ago. It's, yeah, down 25% compared to last year. And the TLX, this one is surprising because I just reviewed the car. I really enjoyed it. There's just a lot of competition, not only in the sedan market, but there's also less demand in the sedan market from the buyer. So the TLX, even though it's redesigned, it's really, really promising, especially the super handling all-wheel drive. Make sure to watch my review on it if you want to learn more about it. Down 21% compared to last February. That shouldn't happen because this is a new design on the vehicle, and that's just a gut punch to Acura and Honda. The MDX is up, which no surprise because the 4th generation MDX just became on sale for Acura during February, early February. So those sales are going to crush it this year for Acura when it's all said and done. RDX down 30%. That's really surprising because the RDX should be, you know, just selling like hotcakes, and it's not. And if we're looking at Honda's crossovers, SUVs, CRV up, which is really surprising. Again, given 2 days less selling days. The HRV slightly up, again surprising because there's less selling days and there's a redesign on the horizon, whether it's this year or next year, who knows, but Europe will be getting the HRV redesign. Honda Odyssey, doesn't really surprise me that that's down, but the fact that it's down less than, let's say, a Civic or an RDX is kind of telling. Passport seems to be doing really well. Pilot seems to be doing well. And the Ridgeline doing really well with that recent refresh. So the larger SUVs doing well on the Acura and Honda lineups. It's just the sedans, just a straight gut punch for them. It's really hard to see. So we're going to go back to automotive news. We're going to see who the next victim or the next successor on the list is. It says Genesis. Now, I wasn't able to pull up any Genesis numbers, but automotive news has some crazy numbers for us. 75% up. And the reason is the GV80 by itself is outselling the G70, the G80, and the G90 combined. Go figure, right? Sedans dying and crossovers succeeding. So yeah, their sales are going to be up. They're probably going to have the best year ever, especially with the GV70 coming out sometime this year. But it's a really strong start for Genesis for the first couple months here. They're up 51% in February, and overall for the month or the year of 2021, they're up 75%. Now Hyundai down almost 9%, Kia down 8% on the month, and total down 7.5%. So we're going to head on over to their selling pages here. We get a better idea, better scope of what's going on. Over the Hyundai Motor page, retail sales up 9% on a daily selling rate. So even though their total volume was down, they're selling more cars per day than they did last February. And the Hyundai SUV retail sales have increased 8%, which just looking at the Honda numbers, that really doesn't come as a surprise. We're not going to get too much into this. They do have the numbers in detail here, but they don't do percent comparison. So it's a lot of extra work for me just to look at this and tell you what's doing well. But just, yeah, them up 9% on a daily selling rate and 8% on a retail sales on SUVs is definitely telling. And then looking at Kia globally is just killing it. And Hyundai might be as well, except I don't have those numbers, but Kia announced their global numbers. February global sales were up 7% year over year. Korea sales jumped 31%. Sales outside of Korea climbed to 2.9%. So even though they were down here in the United States, they're up globally about 3% compared to last year. Back to automotive news. So the Koreans seem to be doing pretty well, all things considering, even though they were down on February. Next up, Mazda, taking a larger hit here, down 8% or so on the month. Over on the year, though, they're not down very much, just 1%. So we're going to head over to the Mazda page. Sales of the CX-30 totaled 5,000 units, an increase of 33% over last February. CX-9 continues to crush it, over 3,000 units, an increase of 7% compared to February last year. And the MX-5, it's immune from all things related to the world. It just is its own little niche, its own little pocket of success, and that had a 3.6% comparison compared to February 2020. The sad thing here, Mazda 3 down on a month-to-date selling rate compared to last, so about 11% down. Mazda 6 down 17% on a daily selling rate. CX-3 should be canceled here soon. I don't think we have that official canceling, but that vehicle is just a joke when you have the CX-30 available. CX-5 down 9.5% on a daily selling rate and about 16.4%, which is kind of surprising. The CX-5 is traditionally the best-selling vehicle, but if we looked at the Acura RDX, for some reason that was really struggling, so maybe some of that is heading over to the CX-5 as well. Next up on the list is going to be Subaru here, down about 6.6%. On a month-to-month basis. So we're going to head over to the Subaru page, check out their sales numbers. And really the only saving grace here seems to be, well, the WRX and STI did really well, but they don't sell nearly as much as like the Outback. The Outback was up 1.7%. BRZ was up, but you know, they only sell a few hundred units, so not that impressive. And the Crosstrek had the best month ever, I think, for them. It's up 28.7%. I'm seeing a lot of Crosstreks on the road, so not really surprised that that continues to be a growing segment for them, that compact crossover all-wheel drive, you guys know. But yeah, when their headline is best February ever for Crosstrek, just one bullet point, you know, things overall aren't that great for Subaru, but they haven't been all that great for all the manufacturers in February, as we detailed at the beginning of this video. Lexus and Toyota. Now, Lexus and Toyota, for some reason, they haven't been producing like individual car sales numbers since COVID happened. It's driving me nuts because I can't give you guys a really deep dive into what's going on like I can with the other Japanese automakers. And Nissan's not on this list either. Nissan tends to report their numbers quarterly. But back to Lexus and Toyota, what does automotive news tell us about them? Well, Lexus was up 1.4%, which is really surprising to me considering I have friends still working at Lexus and they're saying, oh gosh, this month was really, really slow. Maybe it was just that specific dealership or this region, but overall, they're one of the few companies on here that are positive for month to month, February this year compared to February last year. And I don't really know why that is. It could be that they're able to sell some IS models. Maybe they have some ISs in stock. It's really hard to say without having the numbers in front of me, Lexus and Toyota. And Toyota down 6.6% compared to last February. Not as bad as some of the other automakers. Toyota brand was hurt by 17% decline in car volume. Hold that thought. If we go over to Honda, you know, their car volume was down 33%. Yikes. Lexus and Toyota weathering that a little bit better. Combined car sales at Toyota and Lexus fell 16%, while light truck demand edged down 0.3%, which is roughly even, but if you look at the daily selling rate on crossovers, it has increased for Toyota and Lexus. Now, I wanted to share Volvo, and Volvo's, I enjoy covering Volvo. I don't do very much because it's not a specific focus of the channel, but I do really like Volvo as a company. I like their cars, I like their interiors, I like their designs. If you guys want me to cover Volvo, definitely put it down in the comments. They are technically an Asian company. They're owned by Geely, which is Chinese. And I would love to, you know, I don't have a whole lot of interest in domestic cars or most European cars, even though Volvo's kind of a European car since they're Swedish, but really they're Chinese. So if you guys would like for me to cover Volvo more in depth in the future, let me know. But Volvo is on an absolute tear this past 10 months or so. They're up 17% compared to last February and up 24% on the year. And there's exciting things coming for Volvo, especially if you're into electrification. Volvo to be electric only brand by 2030. EVs will be sold exclusively online, upfront pricing, pretty to the point. And I hear it's supposed to be very flexible. You might be able to get out of your lease a little bit early, especially if you're getting into another Volvo. So that will be exciting to see how that plays out and how that plays to their benefit. And they unveiled a brand new crossover electric vehicle. Volvo juices EV push with C40 recharge. Kind of reminds me of the XC40, but it has like it's more of a coupe-like crossover. Range is a little bit better on it. It has a 78 kilowatt hour battery. EPA estimated 220 miles of range. Battery can be fast charged to 80% in about 40 minutes. But yeah, I just think it's a really cute looking coupe-like crossover SUV. I've always been charmed by Volvos, so yeah, seeing them go electric, which kind of makes Polestar irrelevant. It's almost like the Koreans with their high electrification going on. You know, you have the Ioniq 5, but when Kia comes out with their own EV and then Genesis comes out with their own EV that share the same platforms and everything, it's like a little redundant, you know what I'm saying? So Polestar, in my opinion, it's redundant for the Volvo brand, especially when they're like, oh, we're going to be fully EV by 2030. But we got more news. No, we're done with sales, so I'll leave it there. We got more news. Hyundai Motor reveals all new Bayonne, a stylish and sleek crossover SUV. This thing's pretty small. They've been teasing it for a while. We will not be getting it in the United States. It'll be definitely for Asian and European markets. At the top of the line is a 1-liter turbocharged engine with a 48-volt mild hybrid and around 120 to 100 PS, which would be like 118 to like 98 horsepower, something like that. And you can get it with a 6-speed manual transmission or a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. There's also a lower trim with a 1.3 liter engine with 84 PS with a 5-speed manual. The Bayonne will be the first SUV to come equipped with rev matching, a feature usually reserved for high-end performance models. And it will be available for the 1-liter TGDI when paired with the 7-speed dual clutch for all drive modes and the 1-liter TDGDI, that's a mouthful, with 48 volt when paired with a 6-speed manual transmission in sport mode. But we're not done yet. We have so much news. I mentioned grab your snacks and drink. Toyota commits to the A segment in Europe. They're planning to sell a total of 500,000 GAB-based models, which is a TNGA smallest platform that they have, the GAB lineup, but this is going to be their smallest vehicle in their entire lineup in Europe. 500,000 units, including the Yaris and the Yaris Cross. They haven't unveiled which vehicle or what kind of vehicle, what it's going to be called. We don't know that. It looks like it's not even going to be a hybrid. They might offer a hybrid, but it looks like it's going to be gasoline powered only for this point, at least for now. So I thought that was interesting. Again, not going to see it here in the United States. And lastly, I love motorcycles so much, and I have a special place for the Grom. The United States is getting the updated Grom that has been, I think, a little bit available in other parts of the world this year. And it's also getting an updated CB100 or CB1000R. It has a 5th gear now for increased versatility, and yeah, so it'll have better acceleration and better fuel economy. And speaking of fuel, the fuel capacity is increased from 1.45 gallons to 1.59. So yeah, I don't know what that would equate to, but you'd probably get an extra 10, 15 miles on your tank. It has a full-featured LCD display and some prices here and some colors. So yeah, you can get ABS Grom for $3,600 bucks. So pretty cool. Would love to have a Grom on the channel just to mess around and do some motorcycle vlogs with you guys. It'd be a lot of fun. And the other motorcycle, I should say, that has been updated is the 2021 CB1000R. This has an upgraded 5-inch TFT display as well. New headlight, restyled wheels, has a USB charging socket under the seat. Looks like they have a black edition here, and MSRP is 13 grand. Not a cheap motorcycle. I'd probably start off with the Grom and get my skills back because I haven't ridden in quite a while. Start off with the Grom and just enjoy guys moto vlogs with you, and maybe do some like supercar spying stuff because I'm moving to Florida, and especially where I'm living in Florida, there are supercars everywhere. It'd just be kind of fun to get some spy stuff on the Grom. And guys, I'll leave it there. So much news today. I didn't know where to begin. I didn't really know where to end. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. Smash the like button, subscribe for more Japanese and Korean auto, sometimes motorcycle news as well. And I'm still working on my RAV4 Prime review. Who knows when it'll be up. It'll be up in the next week. So I can guarantee that. Guys, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.